It's the podcast. 110 Ocean Drive. We on the corner. Hey, we ain't just making these picks. We getting you crunk for the weekend.
She is the baddest.
Let's go, baby. Yes, sir. What up, Grady?
Drop my top, cut the ceiling out. Second bop, knock it out. Looking like money now. Still go when the sun down. I don't need know what you talking about. I don't need know what you talking about. I don't need know.
Ain't no capping this weekend, baby. No cap.
Vibe on my line, she calling. My vibe on my line, keep calling. Beat it up like bow. Beat it up. If you a bad bitch, say ow. What's up now? Pop out. If you a bad bitch, say ow. What's up now? Pop out. Pretty thing looking like a Noah. Pretty thing looking like a Noah. Plus I know she enjoy all the bad guys that come for her.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, I feel good today.
I feel great today.
I feel real good today.
I feel excellent today. I'm gonna one up you the whole show.
Hey, well, to my left, you know we got Grant on the sideboard, Alex, our engineer, Tave. What's up, baby? I'm in the building. How was your weekend, man?
It was good. I got an Apple Watch.
Did you?
Yeah.
How you like
It's
it?
got floating jellyfish on it. I don't actually open it. I just watch the jellyfish. Yeah, you just tap it. You get a new jellyfish. Excellent stuff.
I like that band
Excellent
too,
stuff.
man. That
Yeah,
band
it's
is
a Nike
nice.
one. I don't know. They were out of the normal bands, so I said, "Give me the Nike band." That's not true. They just handed me the box, and they're like, "This is the only one we have." So yeah.
Hey, man, I like that. That's nice, man. It looks good, brother.
Yeah.
It looks good.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's got a walkie-talkie on it, which my fiance now has access to, which is pretty annoying.
Oh, congratulations, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
That's a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing.
It is. She put some swag on you.
Yeah, I ordered her from Russia. I'm just kidding.
Fuck out of here. Oh, my God.
The Apple Watch, not my wife. I ordered the Apple Watch from Russia.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Well.
It's been a good start to the show.
Hey, well, guys, we miss you all. We miss you all this week, man. Hell of a week in sports. We were super excited about the bowl games.
As always.
I went 6-1.
You finally beat me.
Hey!
You finally beat me.
San Diego State. Golly.
I went 5-2. You went 6-1.
Them Chargers, though. You like those Chargers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was lame.
Yeah.
Why don't you just give him the trophy?
2-point conversion on that ass.
Yeah. Well,
Phillip Rivers, Rivers actually looked real good. He
Yeah.
looked real. In the first half, honestly, I thought that he was really going to give the game away because he made some
he really tried to.
inept throws.
Yeah.
But
He sure did.
that second half, he was a man determined.
Yeah, and I think in the second half you kind of saw where not having Kareem Hunt kind of hurt.
Yes, it does. And I like the Williams kid though, the running
Both
back.
of them.
Yeah.
D&D, Damian and Darrell. Yeah.
I thought about something completely different.
Yeah, D&D. Dungeons and Dragons, Dave?
No.
You surely aren't talking about male genitalia. I
Thought
feel
about
like
something
you are.
nasty, man, nasty. You know, I don't know where my mind is. My mind sometimes, my mind goes sometimes, man.
It's fine.
Go to a different place.
Yeah. My mind's always in a different place. It's just a very weird place. You know?
Okay, so
So.
this is completely off the topic, right? So my wife and myself, we've been talking about kids, man. Having kids, not having kids, having more kids, I should say. And so the doctor says to us, we go to an appointment. Doctor says to us, she said, "Do you want more kids?" I was like, not right now. My wife's like, well, it's on one day, it's off one day, it's on the next day, it's off the next day. I was like, listen, babe, don't do that, So she said, the doctor's sitting in the room with us. And she was like, well, if you are not trying to have any kids right now, what you should do, you should just get snipped. I was like, whoa. Wait a minute. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for this at all.
You weren't ready to go under the knife?
No, bro. So she told me. She said, Martavius, all you have to do, this is the doctor. She said, all you have to do is you can get it done this week and then sit on the couch this weekend and watch the bowl game with ice on you. I was like, no, I'm not. I'm not getting that. That is not happening. That's not happening. So she says, well, if we're going to go ahead with this procedure, you can't be sexually active for 2 weeks. Let me tell you something, bro. I'm going through it. I'm going through it, okay? I'm going through it. It's hey,
You're
I'm
lamped up.
I'm in a gym feeling like goddamn Hulk.
I can see that.
I'm talking about, bro. I'm maximizing the hell of a workout.
I've lifted more weight than 10 men.
I'm going through it. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there.
That's pretty funny.
Hey, but so I'm backed up a little bit. Sound like I got a lot of tests in my body. I'm not taking. That's not because of supplementation. That's what you did. That's for damn sure. Hey, but speaking of tests, let's talk about Eric Reid.
Yeah.
Eric Reid. The NFL is really trying to do Eric something grimy.
Well, I've been saying that for a while. They've been after him. It's really stupid. Yeah, 7. What was it? 7?
7 drug tests. They said that I counted roughly. So probably about 100 players on a roster. That's about 3,200 players in the league. It's 1 out of 13,000 people that would have to. He's 1 out of 13,000 people that would have to take as many drug tests as he's taken. 7 drug tests. He's only been with the team for like 8 weeks.
Yeah, and usually when they do something like that, it's with the guy who has a track record. But I don't ever. Well, maybe you can tell me better because you're an SEC fan and he was down there. But I don't ever remember him having any kind of issue at all. Period.
No, great young man. He was a great young man at LSU. His brother, his younger brother, right now is at Stanford.
Yep.
Playing the same position for the most part, I believe. And Eric Reid's never had a problem. I think that with that whole kneeling thing, that is really...
Well, that's what it is.
Man.
I mean, there's no other reason you drug test a guy 7 times who's never been in trouble at all.
You're right.
Other than kneeling, which...
I don't know why... I don't know why you would think that's okay for a man to take a piss test 7 times. I mean, shit.
Well, I mean,
they don't even give that many random drug tests on a job.
Yeah. But they haven't gotten him yet. So it's like, if you're going to try to railroad the man, change your approach at least, Yeah.
I'm
disappointed in the NFL for, like... If they're trying to get him, they're doing a really bad job of it. You know what I mean? Like, you can't come up with something. Here's what we're going to do, guys. Every week, or every 2 weeks, we're going to have him pee in a cup. But sir, he's had no drug problems. Don't say that. We're gonna get him. He's black. Of course he does drugs. That's what I feel like they're doing.
Man, I will be. Hey, to be completely honest, and I feel this way. And to our viewers listening, you may feel differently about what I'm about to say, and it could offend people. And I apologize, but not really. I want to say this though: marijuana is not a drug.
I would agree with that.
I don't believe that something you grow in a garden is considered a drug.
Well, yeah. You can, there are poppies, though, that, you can cultivate heroin from. So, I mean, that grows in the ground, but that one's pretty bad. But as far as marijuana, no, I don't. I think it's a safe alternative for a lot of things, I'm just giving you crap. But as far as marijuana, there's really no reason, especially with now the
if
league
you were
has
smoking meth or something,
Yeah.
I would really have a problem with this.
Yeah.
I would really have a problem. Like, wait a minute.
See, yeah, meth is different. That comes from a kitchen.
Hey, I saw a picture of this lady. She was high, right? So she was high. And I wish you guys could see me right now. But like meth users, not all of them, some of them, they actually take their tongue and they try to take selfies and they like this.
Stick the tongue out to cover up the teeth.
I don't think this part's going to translate well into your audio podcast.
So there's hey Paul. Hey Alex, pause me. Hold on, bro. I can't. Okay. Hey, we're back.
Yeah. I had to take a little intermission.
Yeah, man. I got the I went off the rails a little bit.
Well, that's all right. We just, sometimes it happens.
Hey, listen, whether you do drugs, opiates, whatever you do, man, I love you still. Come listen. Come listen to us. We'll
Well, the heroin users will
mess with you.
have a very good, easy time, sitting still long enough to get through the podcast. So,
Okay.
heroin users are the drivers of YouTube. They're the best listeners.
Hey, listen. Let's talk about last week, though. Let's talk
Our
about last week
awesome
real quick,
picks.
Because Eric Reid, I'll come back to you later, but the picks for last week, really good. The
Yeah.
Chargers game was a hell of a game, 29-28. I thought Phillip Rivers had a phenomenal game. That Utah State North Texas game?
That was an ass whipping.
Wow.
They got whipped.
When I was actually not watching the game, I was just looking at the box score because I was moving around a little bit, but they didn't. The quarterback wasn't really that good, but he had so many big plays, big pass plays.
He only completed 48% of his passes, I think, in the game.
Yeah.
It was 21 to 43, if I remember right.
Yeah, he was 359 yards, 4 touchdown passes.
I mean, I got to watch the first half, and it was 38-0 at halftime, I believe. And it was just, it could have been more. They were just, it was one of those games where you could just see that North Texas had no shot from the beginning.
They didn't.
Right from the beginning.
That Gerald Bright kid, the running back.
From Utah State, he was good. He was really good.
6.5 yards a carry.
And I'll tell you what, that Utah State team, they looked the part.
They did.
They did. That's you say that about some teams sometimes at those at that mid-major level, when you see them and it's like, wow, that looks like. I mean, physically they looked like a Big Ten, Pac-12 team.
Right. They actually look as though they could be a problem in a mid-major conference.
Yeah.
They definitely do. Receiver, they had one receiver, and let me get his name right. I want to say it's Jalen Green. 151 reception yards on 6 passes.
Yep.
25 yards per catch.
Well, didn't their quarterback finish with 368 or something like that? Is that right?
The quarterback?
Yeah.
No, 359.
359.
Aaron Vaughn played on the opposite corner, X receiver, 2 receptions, 109 yards.
It's a pretty good day at the office.
Oh man, that guy was balling. That guy was balling. 52-13. North Texas shouldn't even been there. They shouldn't have showed up.
That was. They were so clearly overmatched. It was really like watching a week 1 game, where you got like a Wisconsin against a I don't know, Middle Tennessee Tech A&M.
Right, but you picked the wrong team. Wisconsin, trash with
St.
their
Mary's
punk ass.
School of the Blind.
Yeah, they terrible. Wisconsin was terrible this year. They were terrible. I really believe they're not going to.
They're sliding, I think, and I think there's Paul Chryst. I kind of put in the same category as Willie Taggart, where it's just like you didn't really ever do anything, and then you've got this big name job, and you had the one team with like T.J. Watt and Melvin Gordon, I think was still there, but he had that one good year where they beat LSU. And they had
Right.
Dave Arianda,
They're on that
who's
field goal
down at
attempt.
LSU now, and that wasn't with his players though.
Right.
It is always a concern for me is when you have your best season with someone else's players, a la Bo Pelini.
Bo was still the best coach y'all had in a long time.
Suck a dick, Dave.
Hey, I'm just being honest. Hey, Bo's been the best coach y'all had.
Sorry, that was a knee-jerk reaction. I apologize. I didn't mean to offend anyone, but I hate you.
Hey, listen, you can hate me as much as you want to.
Yeah.
I want you to know, Bo knew how to coach that team. He knew what made the guys tick. You guys didn't beat the teams, the high caliber teams, but that's because of the fact that the players didn't execute either though.
He won 2 games against top 25 teams.
I didn't see Scott Frost win against none of the top 25 teams this year.
Yes, you did.
Who?
Let me think.
Yeah, think about that shit. Write it down. Take a picture. We'll wait on it. Yeah, I'm waiting.
I'd have to go
Yeah,
back to
look that shit up. No, you got to look it up. Let me help you out. I can help you out. Bethune-Cookman.
Bethune-Cookman was top 25 in D3.
Get the
And HBCU.
Shut the door. Shut the door. Shut the door. Shut the front door.
Minnesota's a fine program.
Minnesota, trash with they punk ass. Illinois, trash with they punk ass. What was the 4th team?
Ohio State. Covered the spread. That's a win.
What was the 4th team?
They're against the spread record.
Who was the 4th team? Who was the 4th team?
I am not going to say.
Exactly.
I refuse.
Exactly. Go and tell us. The viewers want to know. Tell us.
Michigan State.
Michigan State. Trash. All 4 of those teams. Bethune-Cookman?
And Michigan State was ranked in the top 25 at one point, so.
Man, come on.
I'm going to chalk that up as a top 25 victory.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, Dave, you can't stop me.
Oh, listen. Let's get off of that. Hey, these Husker fans, they make my skin boil.
Yeah, so do, all the other fans for us. You know what really grinds my gears? Everyone else. That's who.
What about let's talk about Fresno though.
Fresno State called that. They had a good game.
They did have a good game. I called that as well. I did like Herm Edwards. We talked about this. We talked about this last week. I like the fact that Herm Edwards is down there at Arizona State. I knew it was going to be close in the initially.
And a big thing about that was I was expecting N'Keal Harry to play. Did not play.
Did not.
And that was for the same reasons that we kind of touched on last week with guys skipping their bowl games. And, with that situation, I kind of agree with his decision just because it was an opening week bowl game. And, with those opening week bowl games, and N'Keal Harry's such a high-profile prospect that I don't blame him for making that decision. So, as far as that game, I don't blame a kid for not wanting to risk his draft stock by playing Fresno State in the Who Cares Bowl. I probably offended Fresno State fans.
Hey, I thought Fresno State had a good team.
They had a really good team.
It was 17,
I'm not saying
24
that.
in the first half, I think.
Yeah, I'm just saying that. No, and there's no reason Fresno State should have been playing in that. They should have been in a much higher profile bowl, in my opinion. I think the Mountain West kind of got screwed in that regard because Utah State and Fresno State both showed that they probably should have been playing in a more high profile bowl game.
Right. Now, who would you have put them against though? Who would you have put Fresno against?
Fresno? I'd have to look at the other games, but I mean, why not Fresno? Why not put them up against Wisconsin if you're going to put them up against a 7-5 team? Why not let them have their chance with like a Syracuse or a South Carolina or a Florida?
I would like to have seen that. I would like to have seen Fresno play Florida.
Yeah, I think when you're talking about a team who was 11-2, I believe Fresno was. Why are you playing a 7-5 team in your bowl game?
Were they 11-2?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I believe so. Well, they won their conference champion. They might have finished 12-2 because they won their conference championship game. So I'm not sure if they finished 11-2 or 12-2.
They did. They were 11-2.
Yeah. So I just don't understand why an 11-2 team's playing a 7-5 team. Don't get that.
Yeah, I wouldn't have put them against each other. I would have rather seen them play someone like West Virginia
or even Toledo. Because Fresno State's a conference champion. Why are they playing the fourth team of a division, like the fourth ranked team in their own division in Arizona State or whatever they finished?
Yeah, that didn't make much sense to me. I excuse me. I don't want to see Fresno play. I didn't want to see Fresno play Arizona State.
No, and to Arizona State's credit, I think you can see just by the effort level that Herm Edwards has it going in a good direction. I want to say it's just going to be really interesting to see how if he's able to sustain any kind of recruiting success. So
that's hard.
It is hard because I don't know. He kind of reminds me of Bo Pelini in his not in his attitude, but I think he's got a similar ceiling.
Oh my gosh!
And I think he's going to have a tough time recruiting.
Why? Mac Brown didn't have one yesterday. Mac Brown didn't have a tough time yesterday.
Well, Mac Brown is also Mac Brown, and has had a bunch of
Wait a
success
minute, man.
at
Wait
the
a
college
minute.
level.
He hasn't coached in years, over a decade. He snatched
When was the last time
he snatched
Herm
that
Edwards
big time
coached?
quarterback away from Florida State to come to North Carolina yesterday, which was huge.
Well,
I don't know if you guys are paying
It's
attention
not hard
to
to
the
steal candy
recruiting.
from Willie Taggart.
Hey, wait a minute. It's still Florida State. It's still tradition. It's the history. Bobby Bowden, Jimbo Fisher. Think about it. You don't think it's that hard? Or do you think kids care about tradition anymore?
Not as much as they used to, but they still I was actually talking about that with a buddy the other night, and I think it really, the most important thing anymore in recruiting is a couple things. So I'm going to say three things I think are the biggest factors now. The coaching staff, playing time, and get me to the NFL. And it doesn't really matter, you're seeing a lot more kids, like, especially when they transfer and stuff, you see them going to places where you kind of have a tough time understanding, but they're going to places that have connections to the NFL, I think, at least. Or a system that's going to give them gaudy numbers. Like, I mean, Oklahoma's basically a quarterback transfer school now, it seems like. And Lincoln Riley is probably going to end up in the NFL, I would imagine, at some point. But I don't know. I don't know how like Tanner Lee when he came to Lincoln, that was the only reason he came was because of Mike Riley's ties to the NFL.
And that's what kids care about.
Yeah.
Honestly. I just saw in the news that Justin Fields from Georgia is looking to transfer from Georgia.
Yeah, and guess who's on his list? Oklahoma.
Ohio State.
Oklahoma, Ohio State, and then there's one other. I can't remember what the other one was.
That could be a blow for Georgia.
I guess if he goes to Ohio State, well, yeah, it would be a blow. But Fromm's going to be what? He's a sophomore this year?
He'll be a junior coming into next year.
Yeah. So.
But Justin Fields is a big-time player, though. I only say that him going to Ohio State would not be as beneficial for him.
He should go to Oklahoma.
I would go to Oklahoma. Just based on
Kyler Murray and Baker Mayfield.
And the coach, Lincoln Riley.
Yeah.
He's an offensive mind, great play caller. They don't teach any defense, but nobody watches defense as much.
The thing is quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody watches defense as much to justify whether or not you should be drafted as a high round. I mean, we saw that with Josh Allen, Sam Darnold. If you can play ball, you can play ball.
Yeah, and the transfer stuff upsets me more than the players sitting out of the bowl game.
Why?
Because it's just I don't understand why Justin Fields went to Georgia in the first place.
Well, yeah.
And I feel like there's a bunch of these high-profile 5-star kids that come in and are just like, oh, I'm just going to take his job, give it 1 year, and then bounce. And I think that's kind of... Look, I mean, it kind of treads into the same waters of... I'll never blame a kid for transferring, and I always wish him the best of luck, but it seems like it's getting to the point where it's getting a little out of control. I think, personally. I don't know. I just think there's a more of a mentality right now in our culture that's just give it to me right now. But
well, let me ask you this. So, and I thought about this long and hard because we're experiencing right now the college kids sitting out of their bowl games, going to the NFL. Nick Bosa's brother did it.
You and Joey Bosa's brother?
Oh, Joey Bosa. I'm sorry.
Did Joey Bosa sit out too?
Yeah. Joey Bosa sit out.
Yeah, so both
at the bowl
of them
game,
did.
and
Yeah.
then
Okay, so both of them did.
yeah, and Nick is a current the baby boy, right?
Yeah, and he left school earlier.
Yeah,
in the year.
like week 6. Well, he already had the injury.
Yeah,
And then he still left to go train. But my biggest concern about this is when you see players do it, that's because of their leadership as well. Because coaches are doing it. Coaches initially were doing this.
and that's the bigger problem I have in that, and I think you're exactly right. And with the kids, it's like it's way easier to understand 18 to 22-year-old kid changing their mind. Because that's,
Right.
if you remember when you were that age, that's what you do.
Exactly. A kid yesterday, Flip, initially he was committed to Michigan.
And
He
then
flipped
flipped
to
to
Alabama.
Alabama.
Stayed with Alabama
Yeah.
from December the 8th
You're
up
talking
until
about
now.
the safety?
The safety and then he goes, that Hill kid. I forgot his first name.
Daxton or something like that?
Dax Hill. He left his commitment from Alabama and committed to, or signed his letter of intent.
You
to
saw
Michigan
the same
yesterday.
thing with Wendell Robinson with Nebraska and
Right.
Kentucky. Because he wasn't officially committed to Nebraska, but from everything that I've seen, he unofficially committed to them, to the coaching staff. Then the next day committed to Kentucky. Then on the early signing day,
Which was yesterday.
yeah, he signed with us. So
That's big to me. I mean, I know that, they say, a coach would come out and say, well, a man's integrity, if he said he's going to do something, you
Coaches
should do
are
it. They shouldn't.
full of crap.
No, you shouldn't do that, coach. When, what's our guy down here in Texas? The coach.
Tom Herman?
Tom Herman. He's at Houston, goes to Houston and says, no, I'm committed to my kids. I'm committed to be here. 2 days later, he's at Texas, University of
Yeah.
Texas. And you make him $4 or $5 million a year.
Yep.
So you question the kids that are playing for free. Listen, guys, we can talk about, they're getting a scholarship. You can talk about that shit all you want to. But at the end of the day, when Alabama is making $100 million in, 4 months?
Yeah.
For football?
I'd be
And kids are not seeing that? I mean, don't get me wrong. I know they get a little, look back pay from some of the boosters.
But I mean, they're
not making
ultimately they're the entire reason they're making that much
exactly.
money. And
Exactly.
I would be more okay with it if they were able to market and merchandise themselves.
Right. I didn't have a problem when Terrell Pryor and AJ Green and those guys were out here signing memorabilia. I didn't have a problem with that.
I don't understand.
Because you gotta eat.
I don't understand why, as an American citizen, you can't autograph a piece of paper and then sell that. Because isn't that kind of the whole American dream thing? To me, it is. I don't know. I think that's stupid, and I think the coaches, when you're giving the guy who's in charge of the team, anywhere from $1 to $10 million for pretty much. I don't think there's. I'd be shocked if there's a single Power 5 coach that makes under $1 million a year.
I'm gonna tell you this, and we can move to another topic. It's a bigger issue. It's a much bigger issue, and
well, the players are the ones putting their health on the line. That's my biggest problem. This is health. Like, they're putting their health out there.
It was a player, and this was in basketball. His name was Wendell. He played at Duke last year.
Oh, Wendell Carter?
Wendell Carter. Listen, if you, and I'll tell you this, I'll reference this, and I'll leave it alone. Wendell Carter's mother she did an interview. They put the interview on ESPN. It's an amazing read. If you want to know how I feel about it, read that Wendell Carter. Read what his mom said. She was a basketball player at Ole Miss back in the day. It was a powerful read. That's how I feel about it. That's how I feel about college sports in general. I mean, it's entertainment at the end of the day, but I feel like these kids get a short shake, man.
And
really
we'll throw that link in the description.
Yeah, we'll throw that link in the description on the page, so it will be available after the podcast. But how do you feel about and this is off college real quick. How do you feel about the Carolina Panthers shutting down Cam Newton for the rest of the season?
What are they playing for?
Nothing.
In reality,
Nothing.
I think it's the right move.
6 losses in a row. They were 6-2, and then he's had 9 touchdowns, 9 interceptions in the last 3 games.
Yeah, his shoulder is clearly not right. No. And they need to fix their offensive line, and that's been the thing since they went to the Super Bowl when they decided not to block Von Miller. This is the first step that I've seen them in where they're actually trying to take care of Cam Newton, I feel like. Because at what point, other than Kelvin Benjamin, have they really brought any pieces for him?
Right.
Other than Kelvin Benjamin, Christian McCaffrey too.
But he's a running back at the end of the day.
Your best player is Cam Newton, and who's the last offensive lineman that they draft? Like, hey, when's the last time they brought in a high profile, really good offensive lineman?
Oh, don't do that, Grant. They brought in the guy from Blindside.
Yeah.
Michael Orr. They bought him Michael Orr, Grant.
Is he still in the league? Exactly.
Crickets.
Yeah.
Hey.
So I don't know. I think they need to gear up for he's getting to the point where it's going to be the last leg of his career, and once he's gone, they're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, they are. They are.
Because what do you have on offense there
And
other than
30.
McCaffrey?
He's about to be 30. Ron Rivera. Yeah. I like Ron Rivera, man. You know, he played on with the 85 Bears, but he has to go. And he's a defensive mind. I was talking to a buddy of mine, Tom. Shout out, Tom. What up? Tom was telling me yesterday how he felt like Mike McCarthy would be a better pickup for Carolina. And I agree with that. Completely agree with that. I think that Mike McCarthy actually brings a great offensive mind to their staff. Ron Rivera would be great as a defensive coordinator with him, but I think he's too powerful to be a defensive coordinator.
Has there ever in NFL history been a head coach who's demoted and then someone else was brought in? That would be interesting.
Well, I don't see Ron Rivera getting another head coaching job for a long time. I don't see that. I mean,
it's weird with that how they.
I don't think he knows how to evaluate offensive talent.
I think,
and he doesn't have the staff that knows how to evaluate offensive talent either. And I mean, don't get me wrong, they're professionals, but they don't have a line. They hadn't had a line.
With Ron Rivera, I just always go back to that Super Bowl, and I'm just like, why? I don't understand how you're a football fan, let alone a head coach, and you don't understand that you need to block Von Miller.
Yeah, you're supposed to have a guy on his side on every. You need
to. They weren't chipping him. They weren't doing anything.
Greg
they weren't
Olsen wasn't there.
Yeah. And I forget who that tackle was, but he could just not deal with it.
Yeah, he was getting blown up.
If you let Von Miller just run around without any, like, if you don't even get a hand on him, he's gonna do all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah, he's gonna have a field day.
Yeah. And that's what I always go back to with Ron Rivera, because I remember going into the Super Bowl, I was like, this is one of the most well-coached teams that I've really ever seen, and I was expecting them to beat up on the Broncos, and it was the other way around.
It was.
That whole thing, I don't know. Ron Rivera is an interesting case, but I think it's just as much on management and. The player personnel department, because they aren't really bringing anyone in to help them.
Yes.
I mean, when is the last time you saw Carolina go out and get like a big name free agent, or when's the last time? I mean, they've been kind of trying to get the offensive talent with McCaffrey and then Curtis Samuel, but they don't have any. Outside of McCaffrey and Newton, I don't really... And Curtis Samuel's kind of flashing right now, but you don't have the line to protect Cam Newton. And that's, I mean, he gets hurt every year.
Right.
And he does run a lot, but how many times have you seen someone come just screaming through the line untouched and just rock him? And it sucks because I love Cam Newton, and it there was an interview he had, I think it was last year, when he was just like, man, I keep getting hit like this, and I'm starting not to even like this game anymore.
Yeah,
he's been you never saw that from him. The memories I have of him is that big, huge grin on his face. Always having fun.
He doesn't look like that now. I really believe that they're gonna have to.
He looks like a Lions player after 10 years.
Ooh, Nick. Ugh. Hey, I say Nick because we got. I'm shouting Nick out. Man, that Lions team. That Bills loss was bad, Nick. I just want to put that out there. That Bills loss was bad. They actually had a chance to go to the playoffs. That Bills loss. 13-14. Better luck next year, Matt Patricia.
Yeah, good.
Better luck next year. I think that Carolina is going to have to draft a quarterback, though. I think they're going to have to.
They're
going to have to. They're going to have to look at that this year. They don't have a backup.
Cam Newton's got to be almost 30 now, right?
Yeah, he's 30. I want to say he's 30. He's about to be 30. And they don't have a backup. With Cam Newton being hurt every year, they need a backup. Who is their backup? I thought it was Derek Anderson.
It could be.
Derek
Anderson is
the backup.
Is a man that defies time and space. Yeah, he's been in the league for as long as I can remember, at least. He's like one of those 17-year seniors like Eric Dungy down at Syracuse. So that's how I feel about Derek Anderson. But getting into, so are we going recruiting?
I like recruiting.
Okay, let's go into recruiting. We're going to go into the early signing period.
So Bama's won.
Yeah, the whole damn top four is SEC, which really upsets me.
Wait. That guy, you talking about talent? Listen to me though.
You know what's weird?
That Texas A&M pick, that Texas A&M being third. I'm not a big Texas A&M guy. I don't mind. I like Jimbo Fisher. I'm a big Jimbo Fisher guy. I don't know why. I guess that's the way he beat up on Auburn's ass back in the championship game. But
I remember that. Do you remember all the Jameis Winston stuff I put up on your desk?
Hey, listen.
There was a just for everyone out there, real quick. After Auburn was beat by famous Jameis, I may have trolled Tate by putting up pictures of Jameis Winston literally all over his desk. My favorite was, do you remember the stripper teddy bear with Jameis Winston's head on top? That was my personal favorite.
Hey, a lot of you guys don't know this. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about this. This was a tough day for me. It was a tough day when Auburn got beat. I was with a buddy, Patrick. What's up, man? What up, Pat? PJP. We were watching the national championship game, and Trey Mason had just scored a touchdown, hit him with that Heisman pose.
Yeah, it looked like it was over.
It was nasty. And that damn Jameis Winston came down the field, man. Threw that touchdown pass to Calvin Benjamin. Let me tell you, I remember sliding off the couch into the floor, and it felt like it was in slow motion. I was distraught. I put a lot of money on the line for that game, man. I lost. I was really hurt. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you.
And then, so Tabe comes into the office.
No, man, wait a minute. Hold on.
Wait up.
Let me tell you how hurt I was. That night, I realized I was going home. I was driving my wife's car because she was at home in the truck. And I let the sunroof back. And I was listening to Adele the whole way home. It was probably the saddest.
You were such an emo.
It was Bro, it was probably the saddest day of my life. It felt like I lost my friend. Bro, I was so Bro, I was so hurt. Bro, I was so hurt. Like, I didn't even know. Like, I'm thinking in my mind, like, what could we have done better? In my mind, I felt like I was on the team. Like, I needed to watch game film the next day. Like, I was there. Bro, I was there. So, the next day.
The next day, Tave comes in, and he goes, Grant, I was driving to work today, man. You should have seen him take down. I felt bad when he came in and he started taking down the Jameis Winston pictures because he wasn't mad.
Man.
You weren't mad.
No, I wasn't.
You were
man.
just
I was hurt.
taking him down. He just looked so sad. And I was like, oh, crap, now I feel bad. But he comes up to me and he goes, Grant, I was driving to work today. I drove by this building and I said to myself, I should just go up to the top of this motherfucker and jump off. That was one of the funniest things.
Oh my God, bro! I was so hurt. Listen, I'm a huge, Auburn fan.
We were going back and forth about that game from the time it was announced.
Hey, I just want y'all to know, suicide is not cool. I just want to put that out there, but that's how I feel.
Yeah, that was.
I was hurt, man. I was hurt. I was really hurt. It broke me. It broke me. Auburn broke me that day, you know. But
You were legitimately depressed. That's why I felt bad.
Hey, listen.
Like, I thought.
I'm a gamer, man. Hey, I go home, hang out with my Uncle Hack. What up? And man, we have Pat, Hack, all my family, man. My mom, Mama Linda. What up? We have our entire outfit on. You know, my sisters. Yeah, man. We, Auburn shirt, Auburn hat, Auburn shoes. I mean, I didn't have the Auburn shoes on. They didn't have like Auburn on them. I did customize some Air Maxes that had Auburn on them, but I had like some Under Armour Auburn shoes on, and had an Auburn joggers on, sweatpants. I'm all day, baby. Gamer. I'm a gamer. I'm a true fan,
Yeah, so am I.
Man, fuck your team, man.
See, I sit there and I'm trying to be nice, and then
Fuck them hustlers.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers, sorry bastards. Anybody want to deal with them sorry motherfuckers?
that was the infamous Bernie Mac impression. Finally debuts on the
You
podcast.
better sit down and do some push-ups or something. Anybody want to deal with them soft bastards? Hey, I'm done fucking with you, man. Hey, back to these rankings though. This Texas A&M team being at number 3, they had a best recruiting class in the state of Texas. Jimbo Fisher is an amazing recruiter. Had the number 1.
That's a sleeping giant.
Ooh-wee. They're big, fast, powerful. Pause.
Well,
I said a lot of pause. Pause all that shit. Pause.
They're
talented though.
They're coming.
Yeah.
And it's just more firepower in the SEC West.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard for a lot of teams to compete with teams like Texas, Georgia, LSU looking amazing. Oh my God.
It's gonna get even harder for Alabama.
Oh, it will. It will.
Which that if the SEC West keeps going, they're heading towards just all of them being really good, and
I agree.
That might end up biting the conference in the butt.
It's another reason why I feel as though Kelly Bryant went to Missouri.
Yeah,
it's another reason why I feel like Kelly Bryant went to Missouri, and it was a business move more than it was how he felt from a personal standpoint.
Yeah.
I think that personally, this is just my opinion, I felt like personally he wanted to be at Auburn, but he saw the amount of competition that was in the West, that was going to be in the West, the teams he was going to have to compete up against, and he knew, hey, this is an easier
Well, and-
either side of the conference right here. I mean, don't get me wrong, Georgia's going to be there with Kirby Smart. They got a great team in Georgia, but Missouri is going to be probably the next best team. I just don't see Muschamp
Kentucky.
and Kentucky. Man, Kentucky's got some country ass folks, man. Kentucky. I'm gonna tell you, Kentucky, Big Blue Nation, man. I don't. they Let me stop.
We're North Carolina basketball fans, so
Hey.
there's a little animosity there.
Tar Heels, man. We suck. This shit.
We know that everyone from Kentucky doesn't talk like that. We're just poking fun.
Yeah, we
Dave
are.
makes fun of Nebraska fans all the time. I don't get my panties all.
I like to be around them people from Kentucky.
And you got to remember, Dave is from Alabama.
Alabama, baby. What up?
Yeah. so-
Alabama, what up? Burning, what up?
Anyways,
Sullivan, what
the
up?
most going back to the recruiting rankings, you know what I find shocking? Ohio State's not in the top 10.
Huntsville, what up?
Ohio State's not in the top 10.
That's not shocking to me, though.
And I have another point that I want to touch on with this recruiting thing, which links in with the transfers. When are we going to start factoring in transfers to recruiting? Because that's what it is.
I agree.
So you look at this, you got Oklahoma to 8. If Justin Fields end up going there, where is he now?
That
Or where is
changes.
Oklahoma? Excuse
That
me.
changes.
Not where.
That
Where's
changes.
Oklahoma's
Right.
rating?
5-star
'Cause
guy,
you're
big time
talking about the
baller.
number 1 recruit last year.
Right.
So we're,
That changes. That changes
Yeah.
things.
I think that at least, and then you got.
Do
got
you
all
think
kinds of other
recruiting-
transfers.
Is
Where's Missouri's ranking with Kelly Bryant?
I don't know. I wonder how all that works in regards to the way guys transfer. Are you counting that? I don't think they count that.
I think a
toward-
transfer should be considered a little more solid of a piece in my opinion.
Well, they're not eligible.
Well, yeah, but they're not eligible right away, right?
Correct.
But I mean, most guys who are coming in, you don't expect to play right away. You don't expect to be, the majority of freshmen redshirt, especially with this new rule.
True.
So, to me, that's not really a big concern because you plan for that kind of anyways.
Right.
That's how you build a program. That's how you get that's just how you build it. A lot of depth, all that fun stuff.
Oh, you have to have depth. You're seeing that right now with Alabama. I don't know why I mention them all the time, but you're seeing that with Alabama.
Hashtag fake fan. Are you a closet elephant?
Oh man, I hate those bastards. Oh man, God.
I just wanted
I
to
was
offend Tate.
talking to a guy, Greg.
I got him back for
I
you,
remember
Kentucky.
talking to Greg. Hey, Cheryl, what up? She Alabama fan. When they do this, it bothers me. Rammer, jammer, yellow hammer, give 'em hell, Alabama. I hate that shit.
I love
man.
that.
I hate that.
I love it because it
hate
pisses
that
you off
shit.
so much.
Man, I hate that shit so bad. Listen. When I hear Alabama fans say that, I just want to I want to pull out my pimp hand, my Rick James pimp hand,
Get some baby powder and slap them.
all the time, man.
Yeah.
Rick James, bitch. Rick James. But let's talk about these bowl picks.
Yeah, we got.
Let's
we
jump
got
in
a-
because
we
it's
got
about
a
12
long-
teams,
yeah.
man.
It's
It's about 12 teams.
a lot of
God,
picks.
it's a lot of picks, man.
So the first one on the docket is what we got.
Tonight's game.
Marshall, South Florida, which is the primetime game.
Prime time television tonight. Marshall, South Florida.
True and true.
South Florida.
I'm
Give
going.
me the plus 3.5 South Florida.
I'm going the same route because I think that the American is a much better conference. And South Florida did lose 5 games going into this, right? Or the last 5 straight.
Yeah, for sure.
But I see teams like Tulane, who ended up being a pretty good team. UCF, everyone is familiar with them by now. Cincinnati, who really, under Luke Fickell, had a breakthrough year. That was 3 of their losses right there.
With with what you just said with the UCF thing, I believe LSU is going to beat the shit out of Central Florida.
We'll see.
I believe that.
I don't think so.
I believe the commissioner is called, the SEC commissioner is called Orgeron, hey, it's time to handle business. We're tired of hearing we're tired of hearing them talk about, hey, they're this team, they're undefeated here, they're undefeated there. They're calling down to Louisiana State saying it's time to handle business. Because they're tired of listening to this. You put up a banner that says you're the national champions. Listen, y'all didn't play a national championship team. I know Auburn. I felt like Auburn wasn't a top team to be a national championship team, but they wasn't. I think it's gonna be something that they're trying to prove a point, a big point.
Yeah, I strongly disagree. It's probably because of my hatred for the conference of college football's version of white privilege. Excuse me.
This motherfucker.
But you're talking about a team who hasn't lost in over 2 years.
I don't care nothing about that. I don't care nothing about that at all.
Well, I mean, hey, this is. I feel like.
Baton Rouge.
Wait. No.
Show them.
It's not a feeling. Me and you had this exact same conversation last year.
About what?
About UCF not being able to compete with Auburn, right?
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah,
Auburn, man, y'all let me
for everyone
me
out
down.
There,
y'all let me down.
I
man.
want everyone to know that I won $200 from that. So
that was.
Hey, that money line was real nice.
That's so disrespectful, man. That should have never happened. It should never happen. So you going South Florida?
I'm going South Florida for that game, yeah. And then I think the next one is
plus 3.5. The next game we have.
I'm going South Florida straight up.
Ooh, with the win on the money line. The money line.
That's right. And I'm definitely the over's at 51.
The over is at 51.
I'm
over and under
hitting
51.
that over too.
Over button. The over button. Let's hit. Bow.
Yeah, let's hit that over button.
Let's hit the over button. I like the over as well, but I like South Florida with the win myself. I want the hook though. If you're gonna give me the hook, give it to me. I'm gonna take the 3.5 all day. I think that they played against better competition with the last 5 teams on their schedule. I still believe it's better than the last 5 teams that Marshall has seen in some time. UCF, Temple, Cincinnati, Tulane, and Houston. Houston is a fast team, powerful team. Central Florida, we know what they brought to the table. Cincinnati was a great team as well this year. And Tulane, we saw, like Grant said earlier, we saw what they were able to do. So yeah. I'm taking those guys as well.
Then we
Toledo?
Yeah,
Florida
the Bahama
International?
Bowl. We got Toledo and FIU. This one's pretty easy to me. Toledo is pretty much ripped through everyone. I'm taking Toledo. They're -7, right?
Yeah.
We got them at -7. I'm taking Toledo.
Over and under is 56.
I'm taking with the points. I'm going to stay away from the over-under because I could see this being like just a 35-14 game and just hitting the shade underneath. But because the over's at like 56, right? Is that what you said?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to stay away from that. But if I had to, I'd probably go the over because Toledo loves to score points.
Now we have Western Michigan Broncos and the BYU Cougars.
And BYU's favored by 12.
-12.
I'm taking BYU to win. But I'm taking
Western Michigan in those points.
Yeah, because I don't.
And I really believe that the line may jump to about 13 myself or 12.5. If you can get it at 12.5, I would definitely I would jump on Western Michigan. I like Western Michigan.
If that line went down to like 9
I like
or
the
10.
Western Michigan with the points. But honestly, if I was betting on it, I wouldn't bet this game myself personally. I watched what I watched what UAB did to Northern Illinois,
Killed them.
and I saw how close Western Michigan played with Northern Illinois. And I don't think Northern Illinois is on the same playing field as BYU.
And BYU in that.
I think BYU could really do some damage.
Well, they're independent, but they play a lot of Mountain West teams, and they seem to play them pretty tight. One of their last games was Boise State.
Yeah.
And they kept that like 21-16. Boise State's kind of been all over the place for me this year. But I like BYU to handle business, but not to the tune of 2 touchdowns.
I don't know, man. I'm going. You know what? Just based on the information, I'm going BYU and the points. I want the 12. I want BYU and the 12 myself. If I was betting on it, I would take BYU in the 12. So skip what I just said. I'm taking BYU in the 12.
Switching it up.
I don't know. I just don't see Western Michigan being on the field again. This is not a pick I would make myself, but we're picking all these bowl games, so I'm definitely going with this. BYU in the points. The next one we have on the docket, which is going to be on the 22nd, December 22nd, we have Memphis, Wake Forest. Memphis was without their offensive coordinator. He's gone.
This one's super tough for me, and here's why.
I don't think offensive coordinator mattered.
Wake Forest is the biggest Jekyll and Hyde team of this season. So here are their last 4 games. So they play Duke, 59-7 they win, right? The week before that, they lose 34-13 at Pitt.
Yeah, that's a bad loss.
Bad loss. So they're at Duke, and they win that. They're at home versus Pitt, lose by 21. Then, right before that, the week before, they're at NC State, win 27-23. Then the week before that, they're at home versus Syracuse, lose by 17. So, and then the week before that, they win 56-35. So they are so random. And the week before that, they lost to Florida State 38-17. So they're all over the place. But for me, you really wonder what team's going to show up for Wake Forest. But I'm going to go Memphis. I'm going to take that. It's 71 points, right?
73.
73? I'm taking the over because I don't think either of these teams really have a defense.
Yeah, I'm going Memphis. I'm going Memphis too.
Yeah, I'm taking Memphis.
Memphis, Tennessee.
I'll take the 3 points for Memphis. I
like Memphis. I like Memphis in the 3 points as well. Give me the 3. I think they're gonna beat Wake Forest. I think they still have. I don't care that their offensive coordinator is gone. I think that the head coach was calling the plays anyway. So I'm going with Memphis in the 3. Gotcha. So they're favored by 3. I think they're gonna beat them by more than 3. They could beat them by 13, 23, 33. Mm-hmm. Memphis can put up points.
True.
They can put up points.
Every team in that American conference can.
Houston, the next game we have, Houston on that Saturday. Army.
This one's tough.
-5.
I'm gonna take Army
Army's
for the
favorite.
win.
Army's favorite by the 5.
I'm gonna take Army for the win. I'm gonna take Houston on the points.
Yeah, give me Houston. I want Houston +5. I think Houston's, they're a fast team. They can compete. They can compete. They can compete with a lot of the top teams in their conference for the most part. They definitely competed this year. I thought that some of the losses were just tough losses, man. Like you don't want to lose to SMU like they did.
No.
31-45. I thought that was a bad loss for them. I thought the Temple loss was a bad loss. The Tulane was a big win, and I think they just gave up in the Memphis game myself.
Yeah.
But you would have thought that the South Florida game would have been a better win on paper. It was a better win on paper, but after you saw the last 5 games
Yeah.
That South Florida win didn't really.
Army's going to shorten the game, and I think.
Oh yeah, ball control.
I think this matchup kind of when you're dealing like this is what Stanford used to do that all the time to like Oregon, where
Right.
They would just kind of grind it out and shorten the game, and then if you keep those offenses off those like rhythm offenses off the field, you generally have a little more success. Army was able to play Oklahoma super tight. Mm-hmm. Very good offense, obviously, and they held them to 28 points. I think that might have been their season low. So I'm going to take Army.
I'm going Houston. Give me the Houston in the 5.
And
The
next-
over and under is 73. I'm taking the under. Buffalo, Troy. You know who I want. Montgomery. What up, Montgomery? Alabama? No, I don't care nothing about Buffalo. Troy, what up?
Real quick, the
They beat y'all?
over-under on the Houston Army game,
73.
are you sure?
73.
I feel like that was the one right before that.
Oh, no, it's 60. I
Yeah.
apologize. My apologies.
I'm taking the under.
Yeah, I'm still taking the under on 60.
Yeah.
I like
Because
that.
Army. So, Buffalo, Troy.
Yeah, Troy.
Troy.
How you like Troy?
I like, you know how I feel about those.
How you like those Trojans?
Yeah. We met them earlier in the year. I'm taking Troy on this one because I think the MAC is garbage.
Hey, I got a question. Are you a Trojan guy?
Trojan man. Used to be.
Hey, shout out Scuba Steve. you know we believe.
Yeah. Scuba doesn't believe in any kind of equipment.
Hey, that heavy bag, get it off me. Get that heavy bag off me. Oh, babe, back to the game. Hey, Troy, what's up? I'm taking Troy.
Troy.
That hater bag, that's what we call
Troy.
it.
And then the next one's super interesting. We got Hawaii and Louisiana Tech. Who do you got?
I got Louisiana Tech.
I got Hawaii because
Do
they're
you?
playing at home. It's a home game.
I know, man.
And I'm riding with the Mountain West. Mountain West is killing folks.
I'm
riding with the Mountain West.
I like Louisiana Tech just because I like the amount of talent they played up against. Excuse me. I like the amount of talent they played up against. They took a beat down to Mississippi State, but with Mississippi State on your schedule, that makes you a more that equips you better for games like this. So when you go up against subpar talent, which I believe Hawaii is a subpar team, you don't get beat by teams like that.
No.
And I think they have the team that can compete with Hawaii. So I'm going those Bulldogs. I want the Bulldogs, man.
The Bulldogs.
Then we have Boston College, Boise State. Boston College has let me down. I mean, that Florida State loss was a tough loss.
Yeah. I'm going Boise, too.
Oh, my goodness. That Boise State loss was a tough loss. That Syracuse loss was a beat down. I feel like they falling off the wagon. They falling off the wagon a little bit. So I'm going Boise State and the 2.5. Over and under is 55. I don't care nothing about the under with that game. Just give me Boise. I think Boise's going to show them what
Give
they're
me
about.
Boise with the win and the points, all of it.
Yeah.
Now we got Minnesota, Georgia Tech. Give me Minnesota. Give me Minnesota straight up.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, right there, don't you know?
Hell no, I want Minnesota. I'm
What do
going
you even
Georgia.
know about Ski-U-Ma?
Hey, I'm going Georgia.
Yeah.
Georgia Tech. I like them Southern teams, man.
We'll find.
Them Southern Bells.
I don't know.
You know,
Minnesota's looked real strong
Hey, you know what they call them?
ever
Georgia.
since they got their ass whooped by my boys.
Hey, Better go down there and get you some of that Georgia
Yeah.
peach.
No, I'm taking
It might
Minnesota.
change your mind.
I'm taking Minnesota because they beat the piss out of Purdue. They beat the piss out of Wisconsin in their last game. I think PJ Fleck's got that team going in the right direction. And
I like PJ Flex. Came out of Western Michigan.
yep.
I like him.
And I like Minnesota.
I'm going Georgia. Georgia Tech. I want Georgia Tech minus the 5 myself. I think they're going to cover.
Give me Minnesota straight up.
Not happening. Not happening.
Man.
I don't see it. I don't see it. Well,
Minnesota.
we got Cal and TCU.
I don't know how to pick this one. I haven't watched Cal at all this year.
I watched TCU quite a bit, and I have not been impressed with their defense. I have not been impressed at all. Their team.
What's the over-under at this? Am I reading it right? That's 38? Am I
Yeah.
reading that right?
Yeah, that's right. That's
All
right.
right. Well, it's a Big 12 team, so I'm going to go ahead and take that over. You serious?
Well, they don't have much offense at all, man.
Yeah.
That Michael Collins kid, he just hasn't been what I think they thought he would be this year. And
But 38?
it's showing, man. It really is showing.
38, though?
It's showing.
If it's 2021, I think it.
They because
me the over.
Well, initially they started with the Sean Robinson kid
Yeah.
as a quarterback.
And then did he get
And
hurt?
He wasn't it. The Michael Collins kid, he's not it. They don't know what they want to do from a quarterback standpoint. That's why I believe that the line is what it. I mean, the over and under is what it is. But I just don't see TCU being what they have been in the past.
Yeah.
So I like. Man, I don't know. I like the Golden Bears myself.
Okay.
I like the Golden Bears and the 1 point.
I'm taking TCU.
We're up in arms with that one, guys. Up in arms. Duke, Temple.
Yep. And then we're going to. Yeah.
Duke, Temple.
We're going to run through the 4:15 game that day, right? Next Thursday. Because the podcast probably won't be up.
Yeah, we're gonna
Okay.
we're gonna go
Temple
through
and Duke. I'm taking Temple because I hate Duke with every fiber of my being. So don't do with that what you will, listeners. I hate them. I'll never take them.
I'm gonna take Duke. They don't have a line out. They don't have a line out for the game currently, but I like Duke in this game. I think that they're well coached. They've had some big time wins this season, but they've had a few losses. I mean, that Miami win was a big win. That UNC win wasn't that big, but they fell apart. They fell apart with the Wake Forest and Clemson game.
Yeah.
I really thought they were going to play Clemson a lot tighter, but I don't believe that Temple has played the type of talent that Duke has played, and I believe they're going to keep it close myself. So we'll see what the spread will be next week.
Give me Temple. Give me Temple with the points.
Miami, Wisconsin.
This one I'm kind of torn on.
Miami. The U. I want the U, man. I want the U. I like the U for a number of reasons. From a talent standpoint, though, they don't even stay on, Wisconsin don't even stay on the same field with them. They got too much talent, too powerful.
Yeah. Wisconsin honestly kind of reminds me of Pittsburgh a little bit, and Miami handled them just with how,
Yeah, they do.
with the fact that like they're a run heavy team and can't really do much in the passing game. So I'm gonna take the fucking U.
The U. The U, we going the U, baby. I like the U all day. And then the last game we have on that Thursday is going to be the Baylor Vandy game.
Yeah. That's how I feel about that.
Hey, I want the SEC, baby. SEC all day.
Yeah.
SEC all day.
I got it. It's hard to argue with that. I'll go Vandy.
Go Vandy, baby.
I might change that next week, though, just so everyone knows.
We going
But
Vandy. We going Vandy. Well, that's our picks.
That's our pick.
12 picks. That's our picks, guys. We're going to do it a little different today. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at 110 Ocean Drive. Like, comment, and subscribe on the YouTube channel. Hit the bell for the notification. We love you all. Bump to the little Gucci Mane. Yes, sir.
I drink till I'm drunk, smoke till I'm high, castle on the hill, wake up in the sky, you can't tell me I ain't fly. You can't tell me I ain't fly. I know I'm super fly, I know I'm super fly. The ladies love luxury, that's why they all fuck with me. Out here with the moves, like I invented smooth. You can't tell me I ain't fly. You can't tell me I ain't fly. I know I'm super fly, I know I'm super fly. I stay fresh as hell, take a pic, I might as well. Hell, drop the top and take a selfie, my car drives itself. I got white girls blushing, homie, college girls rushing on me. All my diamonds custom, so they clutching and they touching on me. Ooh, think it's vegetables. Ooh, think it's edible. Ooh, it's incredible. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I smell like fun, number 99, section full of fine dimes. Bitches staring at me saying, wow. Unforgettable, like that King Cole. Gucci berry wine, I'm singing to yo. A one-man show, a human bankroll. She lost in the sauce, cause Gucci got the glow. I drink till I'm drunk, smoke till I'm high, castle on the hill.